Hello, and welcome to Business Focus, produced by the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angela Inzerillo of Impact Business Solutions, and I'm privileged to be your host as we kick off our 2021 season. Today, we have an exciting show for you. We're going to kick it off with our very own chairman of the board of the Reston Chamber, Dee Kakar of M&T Bank. Then we'll be speaking with Barry Bigger of Visit Fairfax, and our very own active member, Gretchen Richards of Dynamic Business Capabilities. Let's get started. All right, so for my first guest, I want to welcome team leader and VP of Business Banking, Mr. Dee Kakar, who is also our current chairman of the board of the Reston Chamber of Commerce. Dee, welcome. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you, Angela.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been members for what? How many years now?
I think this is our 15th year. That's when we started Reston BBC a long time ago. So
yeah,
one of the first things we did was join the chamber.
Of course, yeah. James and I started a business. This is the first thing that we did it too. So anyway, it's been great. So congratulations on being the current chairman of the board for the chamber. Can you share a little bit about your vision for the chamber and your tenure? It's been quite different than others.
Yeah, totally unexpected on what I was envisioning. It was envisioning meeting everybody in person and shaking hands and shouting the chamber's name. But yeah, it's been a year of transition. We've successfully gone from in-person to a virtual environment. And so, I guess my vision for the next 6 months is continued the same. And as the vaccine progresses, as things get closer to normal, we'll love to transition into a more in-person environment, because I know that the chamber membership is just starving for that. So
I can tell you that I know I am, like you said, kind of shaking hands and kissing babies, but chamber membership, when people join, a big reason for it is for that networking and going to the events. But the chamber has done an outstanding job, and being very active in the community, I can attest to doing things differently. And I won't use the word pivot, but transition, I think, is great. I mean, so what do you think is maybe the one or two biggest successes that the chamber achieved? Just in this, maybe since you started, because you started what, July 1st was the first?
Yeah, July 1st. I had a year of observation and kind of, when COVID hit in March. So just kind of seeing how that really hit the chamber, because like you said, we're a very dependent upon live in-person events. And so the first success you hit on the head is going into that virtual environment and still having an engaged membership base. Some of the programs that we put on, most recently Tinsels and Teenies, had participation over 70 people. And what the cool thing about it is that those 70 people went out and to Pino's Palette and got bottles of wine so that they could have a Tinsels and Teeny party virtually while sipping on some wine. So I thought it was a really cool event to see everybody, and you can tell that
people dressed up. It was great. I mean, it's for those of you that don't know, Tinsel and Teenies, I mean, I think we started that like about a decade ago, but usually it's in person drinking a martini and people get gussied up. And this was very similar. They did breakout rooms, and you did. You had to go get your wine at Pino's, which was a fabulous partnership. And then they got all dressed up. So it was almost like being there. I just couldn't believe the participation. I mean, over 70 was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was a great event. And then
I was just gonna say, I think you're gonna talk about it, but even the partnership with Dulles and doing that mixer, right? That was kind of the first in-person thing that was done in the fall outside.
Yeah, we had two networking events outside. We had a golf tournament outside.
Right,
it was really weird seeing people for the first time in like 6 months, and you could tell just how much people really wanted to be around each other and to do it safe, obviously, of course, but still, the live in person is definitely something we're looking forward to.
Well, it's pretty amazing, being an ambassador. I know you know about the membership growing as well, and seeing all the people that still joined the organization and got to participate. So it was really interesting because I met so many people, and then I got to see them for the first time, and I was like, oh, wow, I know you. Oh, you're shorter than I thought. So definitely interesting. So yeah, it was, I would still say it was great to see the growth within the organization, even during those hard times. People were identifying the real, I would say, the need for the community, the need for all of the events that the chamber was still doing. I mean, everything went virtual.
Everything went virtual, and it's still going to continue to go virtual until we can bring everybody back safely.
Yeah, and also it was valuable. So I mean, it was I feel like people were doing and still contributing and getting value and growing their business, which is really so. What do you say is the number one reason, probably more than one, that people join the chamber?
Well, I love that question, and actually for me, it's 4 reasons why you join the chamber. So the first one is community. I think you mentioned it. I think we do an unbelievable job at partnering with Cornerstones, and right now we just got the Fairfax County Valor Awards for our first responders. Yep. And so any company that's looking to give back and to join a chamber that has a conscience, community is one of them. Second reason is you mentioned is networking. People want to network and want an environment where they can come in. And then the third reason is education, which I think you had is the business education series. People want to learn from each other. There's a lot of chamber members that have a lot to give. And so that education piece is huge. And the fourth and final reason is the political environment and how the chamber, along with Loudoun and Dulles and Prince William and Arlington, have that Northern Virginia voice and lobbies on behalf in Richmond to give that Northern Virginia voice to things going on in the state. So, those 4 reasons I think are perfect reasons to join the chamber.
No, that's great. That's an absolute great outline. So, for anyone who's not joined the chamber yet, please call Dee.
Please do.
Call myself.
Please do.
Reach out. Please do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now's the time. Now more than ever, or really is a great opportunity to get engaged in the chamber. Well, as we wrap up here, I just want to congratulate you. First of all, for those of you that don't know, the Chamber does this awards every year. It's called the ACE Awards, the Awards for Chamber Excellence. And Mr. D. Kakar, our very own, won the President's Award this year. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was very much a surprise and an honor.
It's definitely an honor, and it's well deserved. And M&T Bank, your organization, also won Medium Business of the Year, correct?
That's correct.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Why don't you share a little bit about what M&T Bank does for the community, and then how your employees also benefit from being chamber members?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, M&T is a community bank, and we operate like a community bank. We are a large financial institution, but we hustle like we're a small financial institution, and that's our differentiator. My team are relationship managers, and they're the single point of contact for a small business. So we really enjoy what we do, and a lot of my team is involved with the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. Diana sits as the head of the GovCon committee, and she's also an ambassador. Yeah. Bill Berg is also an ambassador. So we definitely have a lot of positions in the chamber, and that's kind of how we like to operate is get into an organization and see what we can do to become involved in the community aspect as well as the chamber aspect of it. So we're really excited to be a part of the Reston Chamber.
So for my next guest, please welcome Mr. Barry Bigger, President and CEO of Visit Fairfax. Barry, welcome.
Well, Angela, thank you so much. Really delighted to be here.
Well, we are happy to have you. I mean, I don't know if most people know, but Visit Fairfax is the official tourism organization of the county. I don't think a lot of people know that. And I've lived here for over 20 years.
Well, there you go. You are absolutely right. Visit Fairfax. Our main mission in life is to bring people here from outside of the county. So if you were to go outside of Fairfax County, there are probably more people who have heard of Visit Fairfax than the people here. Because the reason we go out and do what we do is for the residents of this community. It is for their quality of life. It is to bring money to the community that they leave here and then they go home and they don't ask for better schools, for better roads, for more police. And the ultimate beneficiary of our efforts are indeed the businesses, but more importantly, the residents of our area.
Well, that is well stated. Very, very good. Very important. All of that. So what's your background? How did you get to visit Fairfax?
Sure. Well, actually, it's a kind of a weird path. My original degrees are in accounting and finance.
Okay.
And I made a decision after a number of years working in banks that I really love to explore the hospitality business. So that is what I did. I went back to school. I got another degree in hotel restaurant, began to work in hotels in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Learned about these official destination marketing organizations through my involvement with the hotel, set a goal to eventually work for that organization in Calgary. They hired me. My original role was manager of Europe, then manager of Asia Pacific, vice president of all 39 markets we were in.
Wow.
Then met my lovely wife at a tourism conference, and we eventually moved to the US. I have now done this in Kentucky, Texas, and now here in Virginia. So I've been doing it a while, love it. And what I really, truly appreciate about what we do is the great things our residents get from it.
Well, that was fantastic. Yeah, so you did full circle. I love it. You know, the accounting world, go to school for one thing and do it totally different, but you obviously do what you love. So this is great to have you. So, you know, obviously we're kind of coming on the other side a little bit, I hope, of the pandemic. And could you tell our viewers a little bit more about how COVID really impacted Fairfax tourism specifically?
Sure. Well, I'm going to begin with a few numbers because I believe those really tell the story. Here in Fairfax County, of which Reston is so vital related to tourism, particularly business travel. In 2019, tourism to Fairfax County was $3.4 billion with a B. It actually contributed in excess of $130 million in taxes. It employed 30,000 plus people here. Now, we were going along very well, and we were out well on our way to a record year in 2020. Then COVID hit. Now, we thought it would be a little less time to get back to normal than what it is taking. But to give you an idea, our hotel occupancy in 2019 was 74%. So 74% of all hotel rooms here in the county, of which we have 21,000, were occupied all year. As we progressed into the virus, our occupancy here in Fairfax County fell to 10%.
Wow. Yeah.
We unfortunately are still in a position where 6 out of every 10 hotel workers are still laid off or furloughed. Our occupancy has gone up to 34%. But what I think is very important is hotels, they require a minimum of 50% just to keep operating. So to say this virus has devastated this industry, those words are not sufficient to really tell you how bad it has been. And when you look at attractions, when you look at, retail, all of
Yes.
those are low as well. And look at our restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Our restaurant industry has really suffered greatly.
Yeah, we have seen so many members of the chamber be impacted. I mean, a lot of organizations were able to transition, I use that word pivot to some extent, but so difficult, so difficult. So how can the chamber, its members, and the community overall help the tourism, particularly in this area?
Sure. Well, we've already seen the residents of the community come out to assist,
Yes.
particularly our restaurant. So
Mhm.
continue to take out,
Take out, yeah.
continue to order in, even continue to go to our restaurants and dine in. Similarly, take a stay at home vacation. Get away from the home, get away from your routine, and check into one of our amazing hotels. Let them take care of you. One thing I will say is the travel and tourism industry is right now, without question, one of the safest, most secure, and most sanitized businesses today.
Protocols have
What
been amazing.
they
Amazing.
really
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So no one should worry about going into these places because they have all taken extraordinary measures to ensure the safety of their guests. And the first responders, the hospital workers who have been staying in our hotels for the last 11
Yeah.
months. So, that's something they can do. And go to our website, www.fxva.com. We have an incredible amount of virtual opportunity for all of us to get to know our county and our community better.
Well, Barry, thank you for being here. This has been fabulous for people to get to know more and understand how they can help and what's going on. So in the last, we literally just have a few seconds left. What is something on the positive side? What can we look forward to in Fairfax County? What's up and coming?
Oh, sure. There's so many new attractions coming up. We're waiting for the National Army Museum to now fully open to the public. They opened but closed. We're also looking very forward to the opportunity, actually, of having an indoor downhill ski facility.
Sweet.
We're also looking at celebrating the right of women to vote with a national memorial to the suffragists at Occoquan Park. And I am really excited to hear about the Reston Arts and their new name, Tephra. I think it's fabulous, and I think it gives the foundation of so many things that are ready to explode for the good, not only in Reston, but the entire county of Fairfax.
Well, it has been a pleasure having you today, Barry. Thank you for your enthusiasm. I look forward to seeing you soon, as I say, and hopefully that'll be very soon. So thank you, and have a wonderful day, and stay safe. For my next guest, I want to welcome one of my favorite people of the Reston Chamber, Miss Gretchen Richards, with Dynamic Business Capabilities, LLC. Gretchen, welcome.
Well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate the nice welcome. You're one of my favorites, too. I've enjoyed working with you on the business education series.
Yes, and I miss you. Eventually, we're going to see each other very soon in person.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I'll sign up for another one soon.
Yeah, exactly. I talked to Dee earlier in the interview, and he's sharing that, there's a hopes that we're going to be doing a lot more live events coming up soon. So get vaccinated and, do all that thing, and the world will be back to what it was soon enough. But anyway, well, welcome. I'm excited to see you. You know what I'd love to share, and I don't even know if we've actually talked much about this, but tell us a little bit about how long you've been in business and how you get started. I always love hearing about that.
Oh, well, I've been in business about 3 years, and I started because early in my career, I worked for one of the big telecom companies.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking up the corporate ladder and seeing all of the politics and all of the infighting and all of
I
the
know it
back
well.
and just thinking, that's not somewhere where I want to go.
Yeah.
And I pretty much worked for small companies after that. And, I was a software engineer coming out of college. So I did development for small companies. I did management for small companies. And the last couple companies that I worked for, I was in CIO, COO level positions, really helping them grow. One of them from 17 people to 170 people over 4 years. So I've spent my life in small businesses, and I had to decide, do I want to go find kind of a third eccentric entrepreneur to really kind of hang my hat with, or venture out and do it on myself and really, really help a number of different small companies. And so that's what I decided to do.
I was going to say, I'm excited you did the latter part of it. So, so when did you join the chamber, and why did you join the chamber?
Well, joining the chamber was one of the very first things I did after filing for my company.
Yeah.
At the time, I had one friend that I knew who was an entrepreneur, and she said, "You got to go join the Reston Chamber because that's where a lot of small business owners are."
Yeah.
And I had just read a quote that said that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Ooh. And I didn't know 5 successful entrepreneurs.
I have to start changing who I hang out with, but good to know.
So and so I
join the chamber. Good idea.
to meet other entrepreneurs who could, who we could help each other through sort of the challenge of starting a company. It was also a great way to find a lawyer and find a CPA and find a bunch of service people that I needed. So at least initially, I really joined for the cohort, but I jumped in. I joined a lead share group. They have a B2B lead share group, and I joined that. It was a great way to meet people and to really sort of get involved. And then after that, I joined the membership committee, and now I'm co-chair of the membership.
Yes,
committee, as well as being in one of their lead shares.
Well, like me, I don't just dip my toe into things. I like to join and go all in. So thank you for everything that you do at the chamber. And, it helps our business too. So it's not just a matter of, leading. It's being seen as a leader, and then it helps your business.
And one of the good opportunities too is the BES sessions, the Business Education Series. And I've given, I think, 4 of them now, 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, you're on my roster. Don't worry. It's like, okay, we need a good topic, planning or strategy, and we got to call Gretchen.
Yeah, which those have been really fun to do, and
they're a great value. I won't even go into it, but they're a great value for the chamber as well as for the community. So we're putting the 2021 schedule on. So FYI, I'll be calling you.
Okay.
You just talked about challenges earlier. What do you think the biggest challenge of your clients are, and how do you help them?
So my clients are small business owners. And I think the biggest challenge is just that they have to do everything, right? They have to take care of their companies. They got to take care of their employees.
Yeah.
They got to take care of their customers. And, for their business, they need to know the finances. They need to know the legal stuff. They need to know the HR stuff. They need to know the marketing stuff. They need to know sales. And then they have to deliver to their customers.
Yeah, that stuff is not taught in college, is it?
No, it's not. And, it can be really overwhelming. And while there's a lot of people who can help with, the HR and the finance and the legal and the marketing and sales, I think the small business world is really sort of underserved in people who can help them with their delivery to their customer. And that's really what I want to help them with. Most of the management consulting companies, the big 4, focus on the really big companies, and their rates are for really big companies, yes, right? Yes. So small companies can't afford them. And then they don't really understand the unique challenges of a small company, right? When you're really starting to maybe 200 or 300, you've got to build everything out. You've got to build your organizational structure. You have to put, processes and change as you grow, because whatever your process is when you're like 10 people isn't going to fit when you're 50, and it's not going to fit when you're 150, right? So you're always trying to find the process that's right for you at that point in time with the people that you have.
And even like a small business like myself and James and you, one person business, I mean, we all think, well, we don't need systems and processes. But in fact, it's probably most critical at that small juncture, because then you can build the foundation and then have it as you grow and scale, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And a system can be anything from, you know, a checklist. You know, if you do something once a quarter and you forget, like, what were those 3 things I have to do? You know, if you just write it down on a checklist. So it's
So simple.
have to be like some big expensive application that you buy. But just, you know, defining a consistency so that your customer has a consistent output and can, you know, rely on a certain level of quality. That's what you're really looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you can grow and scale upon.
No, that's really great. I mean, as we grow in our businesses, it's challenging. And then, you know, last year, of course, and continuing into 2021 with COVID, what kind of challenges did that present to you and your business? And what did you have to do to pivot or, you know, transition?
Yeah, COVID, I think, threw everybody for a loop, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
Oh,
was
yeah.
just stuck for a couple of months while we tried to figure out what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I'm always trying to get a hold of busy business owners, which is hard enough in a regular time frame. It's even harder now with COVID and everybody working from home. So my kind of pivot has been to really look at serving business owners that are a little smaller than I normally serve. Normally, I start working with people once they're like 5 or 10 people, and that's when they really need to start putting some structures in place. But I have pivoted, and now I've pivoted, and now I'm doing a course for business owners that have like 10 or less employees.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's actually a series of different courses that they can take depending on what their needs are.
So this is online that has worksheets and activities that they can work through. And it's like, what, a few weeks?
It's online. It's on demand. Depending on the course, the longer course on sort of the basics for running a thriving business is an 8-week course, and there's, you know, support. There's a community that they can join to ask each other questions and get support. There's weekly calls to do their Q&A. Some of the shorter courses, like how do you turn your goals into action? Yeah.
Everyone needs to take it, or a refresher at least. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you know, goals are so much harder than you sort of think, because you kind of have to go through different mindsets at different parts of the goals. And so, but I have some tips and tricks to help people along the way.
Well, good. Well, you know, I told you that this time would go fast. And as we wrap up here, it would be great for you to just share where folks can find you. And I'm sure there's probably information as well on the courses too.
Yeah, they can go to my website, which is Dynamic BC for Dynamic Business Capabilities, or they can email me at gretchen@dynamicbc.com.
Well, perfect. Well, I'm sure the emails will be flooding in, so check that out. But, you know, Gretchen, as always, it is great to see you and great to have you. And thank you so much for being our member spotlight today. I was really, really excited to share more about you and your business and share your story. So thank you. And thank you for everything you do with the Chamber as well.
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
I look forward to seeing you soon and giving you a big hug, as they say.
I look forward to it.
All right, hon, take care.
Okay, you too.
Bye.